Hello, I'm Ruby Lopez.
And I'm Brendan Moran. Welcome to Creek Currents.
This month, I get a special look at the Walnut Creek Police Canine Unit, a story so good, you'll be begging for more.
But first up, I sit down with new Mayor Kristina Lawson to find out what's ahead for the city of Walnut Creek this year. Hey, I'm Brendan Moran and welcome to Creek Currents. This year is going to be a big one for the city of Walnut Creek, and I'm joined by the mayor of Walnut Creek, Kristina Lawson. We're going to talk about what's coming up this year, what changes we can expect, and so forth. So thank you very much for being here.
My absolute pleasure. There's lots going on in Walnut Creek.
Sure is. One of the biggest topics of conversation is the economy. And just driving around Walnut Creek, you can see all the developments going on. Can you tell us what the city's doing?
Absolutely. So Walnut Creek continues to be a regional retail destination, and this year we're very fortunate to have the Macerich Company and its joint venture partner, the owners of our Broadway Plaza Shopping Center, investing $250 million in Walnut Creek with an extensive remodel of the Broadway Plaza Shopping Center. You can expect the demolition to start this year in 2014 and continue construction for the next couple of years. We've had some tremendous investment in Walnut Creek in the office space. Over the past month or so, Tishman Speyer Company has invested $100 million in the California Plaza, which is an office building directly adjacent to Walnut Creek's BART station. And then we have a tremendous amount of residential development. We have a number of residential multifamily complexes under development in our downtown area, up to 1,500 new units coming online in the next several years.
Yeah, and you can really see the construction projects starting to go up. It's pretty exciting. Absolutely.
There certainly is a tremendous amount going on, and we've worked very hard to make sure that the impacts on the community will be minimal as we see this continued investment. It really is the envy of communities across California, this type of investment, particularly in this type of economy. So we're very, very fortunate. We should all be proud that we live in a community that can drive this.
Well, let's talk about the financial aspect of all this stuff. How is this going to affect the city's bottom line?
Well, the development's not going to help the city's bottom line out at all, unfortunately. And like every other city across California, over the past couple of years, we've weathered a particularly difficult financial storm, and it's not stopped yet. Our budget projections, we look at our budget on a 10-year forecast. Our budget projections do anticipate ongoing operating shortfalls, and we're going to need to address those in the coming budget cycle. So over the next really 4 to 6 months, we're going to be working hard to develop our next 2-year budget. We will be working hard to address those shortfalls together with our city staff, and I'm confident that if we all work together, we can address these challenges. We've done it before. Walnut Creek has gone through challenges that actually were of greater significance than the shortfalls we're facing today. So I'm confident that working together as a community and working collaboratively with the council and the staff will be able to address the current challenge.
Kristina, we both have families, and I know
Indeed.
One of the best reasons why I like living in Walnut Creek is because it's very family friendly.
Absolutely.
With all the growth that we're seeing, how important is it for the city to keep Walnut Creek as family friendly as it is today?
Walnut Creek's family-friendly roots run deep, and in fact, some of the initial volunteers in Walnut Creek spent their time devoted to raising money for Municipal City Park. Our focus on parks continues. This year, we were proud to announce the All Abilities Playground, which is actually a partnership between the county and the city of Walnut Creek. We're going to be developing the All Abilities Playground for families of all abilities, children of all abilities, at Heather Farm Park, and we're expecting to have the ribbon cutting this coming October in connection with our centennial.
Oh, I hope I can cover it.
I hope so too.
The city has a commitment to the health of this community. Can you tell me about some of the changes that we're seeing even right now?
Well, there's a very important change that's taken place just over the past month, which is that smoking is no longer allowed in our downtown. It's no longer allowed in our parks and our open space, and it's also no longer allowed in all our multifamily residences. Walnut Creek has actually been at the forefront of secondhand smoke protection since the 90s, since smoking was banned in public places and in restaurants. We were at the forefront of that legislation, and we continue to be at the forefront. We are happy to receive a high rating from the American Lung Association in connection with our new ordinance, and we were proud to roll it out.
Now, the city is also working with CERT, which of course stands for the Community Emergency Response Team.
Right. In our neighborhoods throughout Walnut Creek has the premier community disaster response team. And this year, Gail Vassar at City Hall and our great community disaster response staff throughout the city have trained additional volunteers that are going to ensure the public health and safety in the event of an earthquake or other similar emergency.
While we're on the subject of health, the city also has a commitment to the environment, right?
Indeed.
Can you tell us about it?
The open space is something I'm particularly proud of, and Walnut Creek has, I think, the second largest land holdings of a municipal entity in the state of California of open space. So that's a core community commitment to our open space. But more importantly, this year we've reinforced our commitment to a walkable downtown. So in addition to recently adopting a bicycle master plan, we're also working hard on a pedestrian master plan that's going to enhance the walkability of our downtown. You've also seen some changes to parking, and sometimes folks don't equate parking with the environment, but getting people out of their cars and walking around our downtown is very, very important. Meter rates will increase over the next year. You will find that parking in our garages will be free for the first hour, again, in order to enhance the walkability of our downtown.
Great. You certainly picked a good year to become the mayor, didn't you?
Quite fortunate to be mayor during this year.
Yeah, this is the centennial for Walnut Creek.
Right.
And there's a lot that's going to be going on. Can you kind of tell us about what we can expect?
There is. Well, there's a tremendous amount to celebrate in Walnut Creek this year. It's a great opportunity to reflect on our past and also look forward to the future. So in addition to 100 ways to celebrate our 100th anniversary, which you can find on our website, www.walnutcreek100.com. We will have 2 remaining signature events. One is going to be a Heritage Day out at Borges Ranch. And then in October, right around the time of our centennial celebration, we're going to have a community-wide picnic. It's going to be free. It's going to be open to everyone in town. It's going to be a great way to celebrate all that is Walnut Creek.
Well, it looks like a very exciting year. Thank you very much for joining us, Mayor Kristina Lawson.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, a good place to stay informed about all the centennial celebrations that Mayor Lawson mentioned is the Walnut Creek 100 website.
Now on the site you'll find lots of great history, like this story on a Walnut Creek first.
Yes, the first fire station in Walnut Creek is located at 1516 Bonanza Street, just right in the middle of downtown Walnut Creek. And it was manned by all volunteers except the chief, a fellow by the name of Guy Spencer, and he had a contingent of volunteers. And I was one of those volunteers, and I'll never forget the time that when I turned 16 years of age, he gave me my fire badge and made me official member of the fire department, and I spent many, many years and many hours fighting fire in the area. Not only because the hills were all grass and we had grass fires, but there were structure fires in Walnut Creek too. And it was a good organization, and the camaraderie with all of the volunteers was just outstanding. My father was the first fire marshal in Walnut Creek, and as a volunteer, and he volunteered basically his whole life in Walnut Creek to the fire service, and he became a commissioner as I became a commissioner later on and what have you. So fire service is very, very much part of our family. When that fire siren would go off, it's amazing. You could see people coming out of the stores, running down the street, following the fire truck or getting on the fire truck to go to the conflagration. So it was a great experience.
Another place celebrating the centennial is the Lindsay Wildlife Museum. Be sure to check out their 100 Ways to Support Wildlife event on April 5th. It's all about baby birds.
Okay, now speaking of caring for animals, I recently met 2 dogs who found new homes helping the Walnut Creek PD. I'm here at a training facility for the Walnut Creek Police Department, and I'm chatting with Pat Duggan. Now, you are a police canine handler, right?
I am.
So talk to us about what we have going on here today.
Well, Walnut Creek Police Department currently has 2 new dogs, 2 new canines, and we're going through their basic training. So they run through about a 4-week period after we purchased them, where they're getting ready to go out on patrol.
And we can hear some of them are eager to start training now. Can hear them barking in the background.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how do you get these dogs? Where do they come from? What's the process?
Our dogs typically they come from a sport background in Europe. And the only reason they come from Europe is financial. It's more cost effective for us to purchase a dog that's been trained there in one of these sports, bring them over to the United States, and then we can kind of select them and say, out of those dogs, which ones are going to be good for police work. And if a dog doesn't work out, we're able to send it right back, versus having a dog that we've raised from a puppy and then we find out that we've got a really well-trained puppy.
Okay.
So we purchase those dogs that have a sport background, and then we go through a training process. It usually takes about 4 weeks to get them ready for patrol, and then later on we'll go through another 4-week period where we train them for narcotics.
Okay, now we're in that second step here where we're training them before patrol?
Yeah, the first 4 weeks. So we're training them for patrol. Hopefully they'll be ready to go in just another day or so.
Okay.
And they'll be out on the street.
What are some of the training exercises?
We do a few different things with the dogs. We're teaching them to do searching inside of a building. So in a sports setting, they're searching out on a field. So you know the dog has the ability to run behind a blind. It almost looks like a tent, and look for someone. We take that and we bring it into a building setting and say, okay, well, we don't have tents here, so we're going to have to search through rooms and look for a bad guy. Similarly, in the outside area, we teach them to look through larger outside areas for people that are hidden. People also hide up in trees and in elevated areas, so we teach the dog how to alert to that. Some non-conventional areas that they wouldn't have seen in that sport background.
Okay.
We also teach them how to deploy out of a car. We spend a lot of time working with developing a bond between the handler and the dog, because they had that bond in Europe when they were trained for sport. They come over here, it smells different, there's less humidity, the people don't speak the language correctly.
Yeah.
And so we spend a long time teaching the handler how to work with that dog and to figure out how that dog might have been trained before so that they can connect and work efficiently together.
So talk to us about the importance of having these canines as a part of your team now.
Okay. So it's of great importance to us. It improves the officer safety for the officers in the department, as well as provides a great service to the community. A lot of times the dogs will be called out for building searches when we have alarms at night, things like that. The dog can search that building much more efficiently than a person can. It finds a suspect quicker. It also makes things a lot safer for us as officers. I like to use the analogy of hide and go seek when you're a little kid, where if you were the person that was it and you hid there, you always knew when someone was coming, and as they got closer and were going to find you, you knew ahead of time they were. It's the same thing for bad guys when police are searching a building. They hear us coming. The only difference is they might not want to go back to jail, so they may prepare some sort of an assault or defense on us, which having the dog go in and search just prevents. It keeps us safe. The dogs are also trained for trailing. So by that, we do scent discrimination trailing. So if I gave the dog your shoe, he would follow your odor to its conclusion. And in the past, we've used that to find lost people, not only suspects, but also suicidal persons or elderly or Alzheimer's patients that have wandered off. It gives us an ability to find people that we simply wouldn't have otherwise.
Wow, so it's really a valuable resource.
It is a huge resource.
Yeah. Okay, well, on the lighter note, maybe some people at home are wondering, where do they go when they're off duty, such as yourself?
So our dogs come home with us. It's a good for their socialization to be away from work. That off-duty part sometimes is a little tricky because the dogs don't recognize that they're off-duty. It takes a little while for them to come home and kind of unwind and realize that I'm not looking for a bad guy in your house, I'm not looking for a bad guy in your yard, and just kind of relax a little bit. But they're part of our family. They're definitely not pets. When they come home, they have to rest and be ready to work again, but they stay with us.
So is there anything that people should know when they maybe approach you on the street and you have your dog? What would we want them to know?
We love that the dog is a connection between us and the public, and would stress that, especially with the newer dogs, they are still all new to this. So if you see us and would like to talk about the dog, please, it's our favorite topic. We want to talk dog.
Yeah.
But don't rush up on the dog. Don't come up and assume, even if he looks friendly, don't assume he is, because the dog's picture might be a little bit different from what yours is at the moment. But please hit us up. It's a favorite topic. Love to talk dog.
Okay, well, Pat, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you're interested in learning more about the Walnut Creek Police Department, you can head over to the website and see if maybe becoming a reserve is right for you.
And we'll see you next time on Creek Currents.